Thanks for joining me. We're going to do a demonstration of the advanced 7-minute workout written by Mark Verstegen from Exos. First thing we're going to start off with is 30 seconds of the world's greatest stretch. I love that the advanced 7-minute workout starts off with this because it's a nice opening move, gets a little dynamic warm-up going on, you get a little stretch, some movement all over the body. With this one, you're only going to go as far as you can. So if you can't get down as low or as straight-legged or twist as much as I can in this video, that's okay. You go where you can as long as you're keeping that back nice and flat. Keep that chest lifted. And you'll probably get through about one on each side. After we've done that, our second exercise is the lateral pillar bridge. We're going to do that on the left side for 30 seconds. I like to think of this like a side plank. So if you're familiar with the side plank, it's just one that lowers down to the ground and pulls up towards the ceiling. So we're really working the obliques with this one. I like to tell people, really make sure that you're keeping that supporting shoulder engaged and strong, front to back, all around, so that way your shoulder isn't crunching up towards your ear. I also like to give the cue of like a string attached to your right hip bone trying to pull you up towards the ceiling, so that way you're really using your core to lift you up instead of just trying to fling your body up there. It should be a nice controlled movement. So 30 seconds on the left side. Now we're going to do 60 seconds of total body exercise. This is really going to get our heart rate up a little bit, so we add in a little bit of our higher intensity. And we're going to go down onto the dumbbells. I'm going to do a push-up. We're going to do a row for the other side, jump up nice and wide, and hop up. So it's a push-up with a row on each arm, and then we're going to jump back up again, so a burpee. Now I like to tell people to jump wide when they're jumping back up out of their burpee, so that way they're not jumping up on trying to stand up on their toes, on the balls of their toes. You can see my feet are nice and flat as I'm jumping back up again. Staying strong in your push-up. If you need to modify, you modify. That's fine. And that. There we go. Good. So when it comes to the row, I'm going to try and keep my belly button, my torso facing towards the floor. Minimal rotation from my hips and my torso. So that way you're making sure that you're not completely twisting open. You want to keep everything facing front as much as you can. So in terms of core exercises, the plank portion of it is an anti-extension, and then the rowing of it is an anti-rotation. So we're really working our core in a couple different ways. Now we're going directly into the right lateral pillar bridge and doing 30 seconds here. Same thing that we're thinking on with that left side, trying to keep my right shoulder pulling down away from my ear, rooted into the floor, strong front to back. And I'm thinking of pulling the hips up towards the ceiling. I'm experimenting with my arm a little bit here. You'll notice I just keep it up, and I'm just trying to see if, how it feels differently, because in the actual workout, the arm comes down each time with the hips. So you'll see me kind of experiment with some things in here. So if you're wondering what I was doing with my arm there, that was why. Our next exercise, we're going to do 60 seconds on each leg of a single-leg Romanian deadlift, then a curl, and an overhead press. So with the Romanian deadlift, you'll notice that my right knee is slightly bent. And instead of locking out the knee as I'm trying to go straight down, I keep a very, very slight bend in it. That helps to really open up through the glutes and the hamstrings. And then in terms of focusing on the back side of my body, I'm thinking of staying really long from the top of my head all the way out through my heel. So we're trying to create long lines with this one, as well as work on our balance. So once you've finished your Romanian deadlift, your left leg's going to come in. You're going to stand equally on 2 feet, and then you're going to curl. Good. Keep those elbows in and press straight up overhead. Reset, and then go back into your Romanian deadlift. So we're going to go 60 seconds all on one foot, and really working the balance, working our glutes, our hamstrings. Some core strength is also going to be directly used here, and biceps, shoulders. Really working total body with this move. We have 3 different exercises in one. So once you finish those 60 seconds, you're going to immediately go over to the left leg, as I have here. And you're going to repeat that for 60 seconds on the left leg. Now, I don't know, for whatever reason, I kind of forgot to put my right foot down on my left side. And so make sure that for you, you're getting both feet down and planted after your Romanian deadlift, that that right foot comes in and you're standing on it before you curl and press. I finally realized what I was doing there and then put my foot down, but I went through a few reps before before realizing that my right leg just wanted to keep on floating. So make sure that you're nice and strong and stable when you're doing your curl and your press. And then once your 60 seconds is up there, we're going to go into 30 seconds of a full plank, arms fully extended right below the shoulders, and I'm reaching straight out from my shoulder, alternating back and forth, nice and quick. I have a wide stance, so my feet are about in line with my shoulders, and really trying to keep my hips from rotating. So just like when we were doing that row to burpee earlier, we are also trying to do that same thing with our hips. So I think of 4 points connected, shoulder, shoulder, hip bone, trying to face towards the floor along with my belly button. So once we finish 30 seconds there, we're going to go into full 60 seconds of a lateral lunge and an overhead tricep extension. So when you step out to the lateral lunge, you want to be really planting the entire foot flat into the floor, keeping the weight back on the heel. So you're pulling your, in this case, my left hip bone. I'm pulling my left hip bone back, hinging my hips back towards the wall behind me, and then going up into the tricep extension. You're pressing straight up overhead. Keep your elbows in place, bend from the elbows. The weights will be going back towards the shoulder, and then back up and down again. Now, for me personally, I use just one heavy weight for my overhead tricep extension. So using two is a bit of a challenge for me. I had to get used to it. I started to press the weights together in my hands and kind of pretend like it was one big one, and that helped kind of keep them together and keep them from moving independently, because you really want to make sure, since it's overhead, that they don't slip apart from each other and you end up hitting yourself in the head or in the back. You want to really make sure that you're nice and careful with this, choosing a weight that you can use for that entire 60 seconds. So there's our lateral lunge to overhead tricep extension. And then our final exercise that we're going to do is going to be some bent over rows. So I'm hinging my hips back, I'm keeping my back nice and flat, and we're alternating arms back and forth. So I'm thinking of squeezing right back between my shoulder blades, using my mid back and my upper back. Think of elbowing straight back behind me. So you'll be alternating arms, doing your rows for 60 seconds, and then when you finish that, you are done with the advanced 7-minute workout. This was my first time going through it, so everything you saw in the video was my first time doing it. So I didn't really get much practice beforehand. So I would recommend maybe going through it just body weight, getting used to each one of the movements, because some of them are very complex, and just making sure that you have them in the body first before you add weights to it. But I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a nice little change up, and yes, a little more advanced than the body weight 7-minute workout, a little more technical as well too. So thank you, Mark Verstegen from Exos, for that. And yeah, really, really great. Short amount of time. All you need is a pair of dumbbells, and you can get yourself a great little workout. So thanks for joining me with that one, and we will see you again real soon.